Why is it so hard to become a digital nomad and choose a life of freedom you really want? The reason why it's so hard is because you're going against everything society has laid out for you. And that puts a lot of peer pressure on you, and that makes it really hard. How that looks like in the country where I grew up, Belgium, is you go to school and at age 12, you have to decide what you want to do with your future already. You have to choose if you want to do something with math, maybe something more technical, maybe more in art, or something with your hands. Then if you're 18, you graduate and you start working, or you go to university and college. There, you must choose again what kind of field you want to go inside to, and this will probably have a huge effect on the job you're going to do afterwards. Then you graduate, and then you get your job, and if you work really hard, you'll start climbing the corporate ladder and you will earn a good amount of money. This is something I didn't do, and usually this will allow you to buy a nice car, get a mortgage on your house, and take that yearly holiday. And when you have all of that, you're gonna start searching for that special person. After that, you're gonna spend a lot of time with this person. Then you might get married, get some kids, and then you're gonna tell your kids the exact same thing that you did, and the cycle continues. So this is the path that is laid out for you and will also dictate how you should behave in your society. And the craziest thing is, a lot of people are not really happy with this system. And if you say that you don't want to follow that path, people will tell you you're crazy. Even though they hate it, working so hard every year for just one holiday, they will still convince you to do the exact same thing. And most regular jobs are not even interesting, exciting, rewarding, and in the future maybe not even necessary. And it will never make you rich. Nobody gets rich from a 9-to-5 job. So every day people work in a job they hate just to live in a city or a place that they like, just to sustain that lifestyle. And the craziest thing is, it's common knowledge, but everybody just ignores it. And not only that, if you want to become an entrepreneur or become a digital nomad, people will look at you and think you're crazy, even though they're counting their days down until their retirement. The way things are set up in this life is just not going to work for a lot of people, especially for the younger generation, in my opinion. If you really want the life that fits your needs, your personality, what you want out of life, you will have to build it yourself, because that's the only way you can make it custom to however you would like. Just like when you buy a cap, one size fits all, it's not gonna fit everyone's head. You can't expect life to be perfectly fitted for you if you're just following other people's advice. This is like using a map that was drawn for somebody else instead of building your own map for your life to where you want to go. By the way, down below in the description there's a link to my school community where I'm helping people at this moment for free to become a digital nomad. So if this is something you like, click the link below and I'll see you there in our community. If this is common knowledge, you could wonder, so why don't more people just change their path? Because there is a huge pain connected to this. And the pain is the approval of others that we deeply crave so much. If you want to live your own life, it's like you have to let go of any connection that the system or society has built out for you. People are so addicted and attached to it because that's how everybody's doing it. Their family members, their colleagues, their relatives, their friends, and they might not understand or approve your choices because they don't understand it. And how can you approve something you don't understand? And the sad part is, the more you go out of the norm, the less people start to understand you and the more lonely it becomes. And you know what? If you say this is not working for me and you decide to take a different plan, you put yourself at risk of envy and jealousy, because your courage will reflect their cowardice because they've given up on their life. It generally doesn't make them feel good to see other people try different things and then maybe succeed at them as well. So I want to explain you the path that I took to become a digital nomad and how I handle those things. So first, I did go to school. I did go to college. Why? Because my mom knew I wasn't going to be able to follow the traditional path. But she wanted a backup for me for the following 3 reasons. 1, because we came out of an unstable financial situation and my mom always had 3 jobs. She was working in a restaurant, she was cleaning other people's houses, and she was working as a secretary, and that was something she didn't want from me. The second thing was, my parents barely make enough money to sustain their own lifestyle. So I know I cannot ask them for nothing in case something goes wrong. So the third one is, we are not gonna inherit nothing from our grandparents or whoever. So it's just up to me to make it all happen. So I made a deal with my mom. She said, you go to college, you get that degree, you give me that degree, and then you can do whatever you want. And it was heavy to study something for 4 years that you know you're not gonna do nothing with. But it taught me a very valuable lesson, and it was you can do very hard things even if you don't want to do them at that moment, but as long as there's light at the end of the tunnel, you just put your head down and get that thing done. And this attitude helped me along the way in my entrepreneurial journey. After graduating in computer science, I got so many job offers and I declined them all. They told me I was crazy because I would have a high salary, I would get a Mercedes-Benz, I would get a laptop and a phone, but I said no, because deep down I knew this was a lifestyle trap. I knew the moment I would start earning more money, I would also subconsciously start spending more money. And I also noticed that there's one thing that's really hard, and it's downgrading your lifestyle. People will fight as hell to not downgrade their lifestyle, which is insane. So knowing that, I just kept my lifestyle really, really low. My mom also offered that I could stay at home longer to build my life up. Why? Because I knew building a business takes time. It's not an overnight thing. And by playing RuneScape, I've also learned that you got to grind things out. I had this idea to start the Uber of iPhone repair, where we would come on location, on the spot, on demand to repair your phone. I thought this was an amazing idea, but I felt I needed the advice of experts. So how did I find these experts? I searched for the biggest startup incubator, I pitched my idea there, I got in, and because they validated my idea, I knew I was working on something that was worth working on, and I would have the support around me to make it all happen. Because another trap is that we usually think that our idea is so amazing, but if you have like advice of other people, that can help a lot. So there I was, instead of starting a job, I started my first business. And it made some money, but it was hard because every day I had to find new clients. And it was super frustrating to see my classmates driving their BMWs, driving their Mercedes-Benz, and renting their first apartments while I was still at home, not really making a lot of money. I barely made 500 euros a month, and 300 I was giving to my mom for the little rent that I had to pay. But I kept on pushing, and 1 year later I was making 1,000 euros a month, which still was not a lot. It was still less than half of what my classmates were making. But there was one thing that changed. I saw a lot of frustration in their life. And me, honestly, I was happy to wake up every day and to work on my own project. But then I started traveling for the first time and I enjoyed it. I remember as a kid always imagining how it would be to travel, because they would tell their stories of going to Italy and trying Italian ice cream. And I couldn't travel as a kid because we didn't have the money for it. So with my current business, every time when I took a holiday, that also meant I couldn't repair any iPhone. That also meant that I couldn't make any money, and I'm already spending a lot of money in the business, but also on the holiday destination. And then deep down, I knew something had to change. I was already reading the 4-Hour Workweek. I was listening to Pat Flynn's podcast called Smart Passive Income. And I knew deep down I had to do something where I could earn money online. Now, the goal was clear. I just needed a way of doing it. What I learned from the startup life was, if you're trying to innovate and make something totally new, it's gonna be so difficult. But if you can find something where there is a proven path of people that already showed you that it's possible, you can just follow these steps. And you can ask people that already did it. You can ask them for information, or you can pay them for that information so you can grow quicker. And that's what I did. I bought this course from Iman Gadzhi. It was like how to start a social media advertising agency. And at that moment, I didn't think it was that good, especially for the Belgian market or European market in general, maybe. But I've learned a lot, but I didn't stop there. I continued investing in myself, learning more by buying more courses, checking YouTube videos, talking with people. And you know what? After 6 months, I had my first client at 500 euros a month. Then I was already like making half the amount I was making in my iPhone repair business. The second month I had a new client coming in, so now I had 2 clients paying 1,500 in total every month recurring, while I was still making only 1,000 in my iPhone repair business. So that was the moment I also felt safe enough to go all in this journey. Now, long story short, I've been traveling for the last 2 years and it's amazing. And I make more money than my classmates, I work less than them, and I spent all the time in the destinations where they spent their 21-day holidays on. From the outside, it always looked like I was making a bad decision, that I was the one that wasn't really smart and stupid by making all these decisions. My friends and their parents thought that my mom and me were crazy, but ultimately it paid off. And the beautiful thing is, now I'm surrounded by people that think so similar and are like-minded. And I just want to show you that there are other options, and I feel it's up to me and hopefully other people that can showcase you that as well. Badejoh out.